Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Thursday! Oh, my brain for a moment forgot what day it was. Oh, I'm telling you, this has been, I don't even know. It's been, okay. I mean, not bad. Just, trying to stay organized and all that good stuff, and not succeeding very well. But you know what? That's okay, because those days are going to happen, right? So I found one of my rings. I'm so excited. I can't remember what this is, but I think it's aventurine or chrysocolla. I don't know. I love crystals, and say what you will about them, but I enjoy them because they're pretty. So I got rose quartz and moonstone. I know, so just sharing. Not that I need to, but I am. So there you go. But they are pretty, right? And they are fitting again. So, anyways, I know. I found another one of my rings that I absolutely love. Believe it or not, I got this from Comic-Con, and it's like a mother of pearl kind of thing, or a abalone shell, or whatever you want to call them, but not mother of pearl. What am I trying to think of? I can't remember, but love that too. And well, I must love it because I just put it on. So there you go. I am full of rings. Imagine, pow. So I know, sorry, it's supposed to be about good stuff, right? Anyways, it is going to be so hot today. It's going to reach about 100 where I live. So send hope, send water. So anyways, I wasn't really sure about what to talk about today, and there's still a little bit of a struggle. The one thing I love about Self-Care Wednesday and Aloha Oracle Friday is I always know what to talk about on those days. But right now, my brain is just... So I saw something that I remembered, actually, that I posted something last week on Facebook. And it was something from my memories from about a year or two ago. And I prefaced it with, the balance has been awkward, but the healing has been great. So the balance has been awkward, but the healing has been great. But the meme was, I thought I was broken and needed fixing. Not true. I was hurt and needed to heal. Now, the rest of it said a completely different concept, but I'm not really sure it is. You see, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with feeling broken. And again, this is from my perspective. A lot of people will say, well, you can't tell people not to feel broken, or you can't. People are going to feel the way they're going to feel. People who are starting to heal are going to feel the way they feel. But if you are a person that's coming from a healed angle, okay, be patient with those who are still walking behind you, because even though they may have started their journey before you, you may have blown right by them, because it's our willingness to accept the moment that's happening, and it's our willingness to move forward with the flow. And that's one of the reasons why it has taken me a gazillion years to heal, because I'm not good with going with the flow. There has been so much that I've had to unlearn and relearn that, sorry, these are just, too many of these are just distracting. So anyways, there's so many things that I've had to unlearn and relearn. And in that time, I realized that I could have been healing faster. But healing is like grief, okay? There is no time limit on it. But when it comes to healing, I do suggest the faster you move through it, the better. Because you want to be able to get to that new part of who you are. You want, or maybe not even a new part. It could just be a part that you're uncovering. One of the things they talk about in healing is go back to a place where before whatever traumatic happened to you. Now, what happened to me happened so young, I didn't have that place to go back to. And a lot of people don't, especially if you struggle with CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And complex post-traumatic stress disorder is not battle related, okay? It is, well, mentally battle related, but CPTSD is trauma, like childhood trauma, all kinds of childhood trauma, or even just trauma, period. But it's not battle related. So, and by that I mean most PTSD patients are going to be soldiers and people who have seen combat, or people who have just experienced a lot of bad things in war. So whether it's a soldier or a civilian that has had to deal with these things. So that's my understanding of them both when I look them up. because somebody told me that when I was on my healing journey, I did struggle with CPTSD, and I was like, what the hell is that? So it's like, where are all these new terms coming from? But, you know, the thing is you know, people will say, well, they're just making things up as they go. No, they're not making things up as they go. Psychology is also a science. It's a science of the brain. It's a science of your mental health. And as they move forward, as they do all of these, you know, studies and whatnot, they find new things, you know, and they give it the right appropriate name. So, good morning, older sibling. So, CPTSD is a thing. It's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So, anyways, sorry, I know my hand. Anyways, I'm trying to keep my hands from being all chatty along with me, but I guess the whole thing is like I said, when I first started this, or this morning, I was like, what am I going to talk about today? And I saw something my brother from another mother posted, and it was beautiful. You know, his mother-in-law has dementia, and, you know, he's basically the primary caregiver. And so there's a lot that happens, but, you know, this morning, something cute and goofy happened, and it was like, you know, find the, you know, the joyful moments can be in those situations few and far between. But it reminded me, it's like, you know what, I'm still in control of all my faculties. So why am I not choosing joy? Why am I not choosing, you know, to move forward? And, you know, I honor my feelings when I'm feeling awkward, and I'm feeling, and I don't mean awkward like, I mean awkward like, ugh. Like my balance is just off. I mean, like I said at the beginning, the learning how to balance part has been awkward, but the healing has been great. It feels good to wake up in the morning and feel like there's a purpose. It feels good to get back to this show. It feels good to do all the things that I missed doing so much, you know, getting back out there and hanging out with my friends, making coffee plans with friends, or hanging out at the mall. Well, today we're hanging out at the mall because it is freaking hot outside. So none of us want to melt. And the Starbucks near my friend's house tends to get it. There's like 5 chairs or 5 tables in this place. So we end up outside. It's like none of us want to melt. No, sorry. I mean, I can take heat, but not 100 degrees outside. Because it's not necessarily a dry heat like Arizona gets. It is it's a humid heat. So it says 100, feels like 200. I'm kidding. We'd all die. So anyways, I know this is what you get, right? A little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. But I'm still trying to figure out how to explain the balance part and it being so awkward, because I'm not sure I know what to expect from myself anymore. I know the path I want to take. I know how I want to move forward. And I think the reason my balance has been a struggle and has been kind of this weird, awkward thing is because I think I'm still unlearning who I used to be. You know, there are times when I find myself getting back into old patterns, and it's like, no. You know, like last Monday? Well, whatever day it was. I think it was last Monday. Or this past Monday. I thought, well, it's a holiday. I'm not going to do my exercises. Bullshit. I don't care what day it is. If it's Monday through Friday, my ass should have been working out. But it didn't. And I was just kind of like, all of a sudden I felt overwhelmed. And then I started shaming myself. And I'm like, okay, stop. All right, just stop. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get dressed. We're going to get out of the house. And we're going to go to the mall. And we're going to walk it. And I walked it. I walked every single corner of that, you know, that mall. And it's one of those malls that are kind of in a cross shape, right? So it's like you have the front, then the side, then the back, then the side, then your back. And or like a baseball diamond in a way, but it kind of weaves in and out, right? And I weaved in and out. I did all that, no shortcuts, no nothing. And I felt a little better about myself, but not because I did the exercise, but because instead of saying, I'm just going to sit here and veg all day and do nothing. And I thought, no, you know what? I got myself dressed. I got my makeup on, just, you know, for the hell of it. And I thought, no, I'm going out. And I'm going to do this because this is what I need to do. I do not want to fall back into old patterns. Now, I'm not saying, you know, for all the people that do exercise, because I know somebody who exercises on the weekends too. You have to give your body a break, especially as we get older. I mean, I hate admitting this, right? But especially as we get older, our body needs time to heal. Otherwise, you might have long, lasting repercussions, and that's not what you want. So make sure to feed your body the right things, the fuel, so you can burn it off, and be sure to give your body that rest. I mean, if you want to do something light on the weekend, like go for a walk or something, just a casual walk, that's fine, just to keep your body moving. But when it comes to the intensity, be careful, okay? Be careful. And this is something my trainer told me a long time ago, because it's like, I'm going to do this, 7 days a week. He's like, no, you need to take a couple days off to rest, all right? He's all, I don't care where you put the days off, but you got to take at least 2 days to rest. And so that's why I do the Monday through Friday thing, so that my body can rest. But I think the point I was trying to make there is that I could feel myself going back in old patterns, like, no, I don't want to do this. And I could kind of feel that little edgy darkness inside of me just kind of creeping up. And I was like, no. And, I thought about it for a second. And it's not like I said no and pushed it down. When I'm doing this, I mean, it's like, no. I let it come up. I thought about it for a few minutes, and I thought, all right, you're done. I'm done with this thought. And I threw it away. And that's when I decided to get dressed. And I decided to go out to the mall. And I mean, the mall, because I was in San Diego at my dad's, the mall's not that close. And I had actually intended on going to the outdoor mall, which was, well, probably the same distance, but it was hot. So I was like, no. But I think I made the right choice, because the mall I went to was bigger. And I got a lot of steps. So, and I'm not a big mall person, so going in and out of shops is not really my thing. I am not really a shopper. I mean, I go out and I get what I need and blah, blah, blah. I mean, sometimes I'll walk around and just browse. I mean, I had fun with that. I have to admit, I had fun with that in London, because there's everything. It's like, it's overwhelming to the senses in the best way possible, but it's just like, wow. But I mean, I don't purposely make a trip to the mall unless I'm there for a reason. So that being said, and the reason I'm saying that is like, yeah, but how many stores did you go in and out of? I went in and out of one. It's this one store I've always wanted to go to. And I have to tell you, I'm excited, because once I can wear this, I have weird sensitive skin when it comes to like heat and humidity. But when it's cool enough to wear this, I got a Daisy watch band for my watch. And it was like $5. I know, right? And I say that because it's like, I've always wanted to go into this store called Five Below, and I was so excited. And it was like, well, it was $5.55, but that's a good number. $5.55 is change, and it's good change. So anyways, sidetracking, this is what I'm talking about. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this issue that I'm having with the balance has been awkward, because you've noticed in my shows, I'm straying all over the place. I'm squirreling so hard, even when I'm not dealing with doctor's appointments for sibling, or dealing with taking travel days at the last minute to go see my dad. This has been my brain. And it's just a matter of trying to cycle this bad girl down and kind of reboot her. Oh, thank you. I think I just realized what I got to do. I've got to cycle her down and reboot and reset, right? Hard reboot. I need to shut her down and let her reboot back up, and remind myself that the healing process is great, and it's kind of the foundation now. And so everything underneath it has been graded out, right? Like when you get ready to build a house, you don't just put a house on top of the dirt. You could in the old days, but nowadays, no, it might fall down, or it'll be uneven. So you grade it, you make it flat. And so all the icky stuff, all the stuff that was in my way, all the mountains that were uneven in my life, they have been graded out. And I need to remind myself of that. And the reason I'm sharing this is because, how many times have we been in a position where it's like, why am I doing this? This is not the habit I want to keep doing. And then we might shame ourselves. We might eat our feelings about it. We might make all kinds of bad choices. Don't, okay? We are human. We are going to have these feelings. We're going to have these triggers. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure that these triggers won't keep happening for the rest of my life. But what I do know and thanks to my therapist who likes to drive this home a lot, I have the tools to move through these things. I have the tools to remind myself that I can move forward and that I don't have to let this trigger take over my day or my life for a certain amount of time like I used to, where I used to just get triggered and then I would just fall into this feeling for a while, and then sometimes it would lead to just a straight up spiral. And spirals are no fun. We all know that. Spiraling is hard because you never know. I never knew when I was in a spiral until I was in the midst of it, and I realized, oh my God. And then it's like, when did this happen? And I never realized I was out of it until it was like, oh my God, look at that. I'm feeling normal again. And then it's kind of like, whoa, but when did it end? So you have to honor your feelings. You have to really kind of, what did I say the other day? Feel them, honor them, heal them, and release them. Maybe it should be feel them, heal them, honor, and then release them. Yeah, that might be the better, what you call it. So feel your feelings or your triggers, heal them, honor them. Don't shame them, honor them. Say, hey, you know what? I get it, but it's time to let you go, and then release them. That was from the other day. The key is to catch yourself as soon as you realize you're thinking negative thought and switch it to something you appreciate or want to feel. And that's how I feel right now. And like I said, I mean, I even pulled out the mindful messages deck thinking, okay, well, we're just going to go with that today, but I don't think we are. And then I saw Troy's post about his mother-in-law, Cindy, and, just finding the joy in those moments. I think sometimes we forget that, I mean, for me personally, the little things are some of the best things in the world. And not that big things aren't great, because big things are great. Big grand finale type of things are wonderful. They are. But for me, the little things have always been amazing. Probably since my late teens and early adulthood is how I felt this way, because those are the things I missed. Those are the things that, little things would happen and it'd be like, you don't notice them, you don't pay attention to them. And then when you think back on something like an old memory and you're like, wow, that wasn't the grandest thing in the whole world, but boy, it was sure a moment, wasn't it? The little things, right? Like that story I told the other day where my parents threw me a surprise party when I was 5 and everybody yelled surprise and it ran out the front door. And that may not seem like a little thing, but I mean, I was 5. I mean, what are the odds that I would remember that? But the little thing for me is, because I freaked out and ran out the door, I remember the fact that my parents threw me a 5-year-old surprise party. I don't remember the party. I just remember running out. And so I can't remember who came out to get me. All I remember, like I said, is running out the door and going, hearing somebody say, where's she going? And it's like, but the little things are amazing. Finding my ring this morning, or I shouldn't say finding it, knowing that it fits has been amazing. All these different things that I tried to feed and hide under. See, that's one of the reasons I am on the health journey, not just because of my heart, but to show myself that, how to love myself in every part of my life, in every moment of my life, no matter what size I am, thick or thin, but to also not hide beneath the layers of, stuffing my face that I did as an emotional eater. I was afraid of the world, and I figured, well, nobody's gonna want me at this size, right? Well, my therapist really put an arrow in that one and deflated it fast. She's all, why? She's all, Shelly Marie, look around. And that's the one thing I loved about her, right? Most of my therapists or even my doctor will call me Shelly, but she called me Shelly Marie, and I'm sorry. I love my name. I hated it when I was a kid because, trying to write that damn name across a piece of paper was not easy when you're young. But as an adult, I'm really glad my mother instilled that in me. My father named me, but my mother really stuck to it because people love to misspell my name. They separate it. Even when they give you boxes, right? I had to fill out a form not too long ago, and I got a response back. And in the mail, they separated Shelly Marie. It's like, really? Do you not read forms? It's like, it's literally in a box. You gave me boxes to put in my name. And the nice thing is they're giving us longer boxes now. So to all the parents who have given their kids these wild long names, I thank you, because my name finally fits in the boxes. My name's like 11 letters long, my first name. So, and it would always cut off at 9. But anyways, sorry, sidetrack. See, there's the squirreling again. I promise you the Aloha Perspective will get back to where I was before. But my brain, I think, you know what I think it is? I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I really think it is? I think part of it is that my soul is so excited to be back doing this, to be back sharing experiences and hopefully giving people, tips or advice or whatever that they can think about, the ones that resonate with them, that they can think about and figure out how to make it work for them. Not necessarily do exactly what I say, but do what I've done with other people and their advice. And you take it, you tweak it, and you make it work for you. So anything I've said here, any kind of piece of advice that I have given, doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it verbatim. No, that's what worked for me. But I tweaked other people's advice. I tweaked other people's, comments that they would make or things that they would say or post. And I, just like the thing today, I thought I was broken and needed fixing. Not true. I was hurt and needed to heal. And like I said, the rest of it says a completely different concept. To me, in my perspective, it's not a different concept. When you are so hurt, or the world just feels like it is just placed, not just on your shoulders, but like, Wile E. Coyote with the anvil, right? Just, you're flat. You might feel broken. And I don't think it's fair for this meme, in my personal opinion, to say that, it's different. Because here's the thing. You might feel like you're broken, but as you start to heal, you're going to realize, I thought I was broken and needed fixing. Not true. I was hurt and needed to heal. And that was me. There was a time I felt so broken, and then I would heal a little bit, and then I'd feel broken again. And then I'd heal a little bit, and then I'd feel broken again. And then I'd heal a little bit, and then I'd feel broken again. And it's kind of like the Japanese art of, I think it's called kintsugi. I always get this wrong, but I think it's kintsugi, Kinsugi. And, it's become kind of an art thing now, where they break something and remend it with gold. And that's kind of become like an art piece. But, the actual concept of it was that you would take the pottery, and then if something broke, instead of throwing it away, they would put it back together with gold, like gold glue, gold infused glue or whatever, gold colored, you know what I'm trying to say. Not necessarily gold itself, but but the point was to show that even when we're broken, we can heal. We put ourselves back together. And the shimmering part of that vein of the broken area was to show that, look, we healed, and we healed beautifully. And to not be ashamed of those scars, to not be ashamed of, how broken we may have felt. I've known people that have felt so broken and they hit bottom really, really hard. And then all of a sudden, something happened in their life that just poof. And, there's so many different stories I can share, which I need to get permission first. But there are so many different stories I can share where, and it's just, for me, on a personal level, to watch this happen to somebody else, it's a beautiful thing, because, you want to pick them up and just tell them, hey, you know what, let me shelter you from everything, because I don't want you to be hurt anymore. But you watch them grow, because you stop trying to fix them, you learn how to heal yourself, and you watch them as they progress. And maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe what I need to do is look back and see how far I've come. Instead of just looking at everybody else's progress, say, hey, Shelly Marie, look how far you've come. Because I don't think I do that enough. I don't think any of us, or I shouldn't say any of us, I don't think a lot of us do that. I think we say, hey, look where I'm at, it's not where I want to be. But my mom always had a favorite saying, don't look back, you're not going that way. And it kind of really stuck with me for a long time, because it's that I'm all like, yeah, she's right, don't look back, you're not going that way. But for me, in the healing that I needed, it didn't necessarily work. So I love her saying, but I love what sibling added to it. Look back to see how far you've come. So I put it together and said, don't look back, you're not going that way, except to see how far you've come. And they're two different sayings. They may not exactly fit perfectly together, but they work for me because it's true. It's like, and maybe that's the problem, is that I haven't looked back to see how far I've come. My therapist didn't, my therapist really worked hard on moving me out of my past, because I tended to go back there and live there because it was comfortable, no matter how painful it could have been, no matter how stressful it might have been, even to think about it. She did, she was trying to move me out of that, but she told me, and so I kind of took it like from one end to the other, right? No in between. And during one session, when I was talking about something, I said, well, I know it's going back to the past, but I know it's something I have to heal. And she's all, let me explain what I'm trying to say. We're going to have these moments where we're going to go backwards to see, because there are going to be things that are going to need to be healed, like an onion layer, right? Let's talk about the onions again. We have to peel and peel and peel and peel the layers. And I think the reason they use the onion is because the onion can make you cry, right? It's so strong and powerful. And if that's not the reason, that's my new metaphor, because it does make you cry. There's a lot of pain and a lot of hurt in that when you're peeling out these layers. But you cook those bad boys up. I don't like raw onions, but you grill them up, saute them, boom, they're amazing, right? All of a sudden you're taking these memories and you're creating something out of it. You're creating something out of the tears and the pain. And so what she was trying to explain to me is, she's all, you're going to have to go back from time to time. But she's all, you were stuck there. You were living there. That's actually why I went back to therapy, because I was stuck. I wasn't quite done with my healing like I thought I was. But it turns out I needed someone to help unstuck me. I needed someone to help me, get unstuck. Unstick Shelly Marie from her spot, whatever I'm trying to say. But you get it. That's why I smiled, because I'm pretty sure that's not a word. I'm telling you. I'm having a moment. Shelly Marie's having a moment. Anyway, enough with the speaking about myself in the, third person. All right, deep breaths. So anyways, she was trying to explain to me to not get stuck in the past. Deal with what you have to deal with that might come up from there, if it hasn't been dealt with already, and see where you're at with it. And it was one of the last things I really needed to talk about, and I think it was one of the last things that, really kind of helped. It was about my relationship with my mom. My mom and I had a kind of a tense relationship when I was growing up. But when we were adults, and I finally realized that my mom was just trying to keep me alive, and my mom was just trying to make sure that I had a good life. I mean, both of my parents did, but how my mom, because I was always really close to my dad growing up, and I still am. But my mom and I, we struggled a bit. And so by the time I hit adulthood around 20, suddenly we started finding our footing. But then later on when we talked, my mom told me about when I had my heart surgery. And all those years later, she was, she started tearing up and choking up, and she's always just so hard to see you laying there with all these wires sticking out of you and blah, blah, blah. I mean, my heart surgery was pretty invasive. I mean, you can see my scar, so, and it goes down to here. But I don't remember any of it, obviously. I mean, I remember kind of going in for surgery, because those needles, when they put you out, because I was a kid, they're big, especially back in the 70s. I know. Thank God for technology, because I would not want kids to go through this. But I couldn't imagine. She said even your father had a hard time staying in the room, when I first came out. And it gave me a new perspective, but I forgot about that for all those years. And after she died, I told my therapist, I said, I think I've held on to this anger for like 10 years. My mom's anniversary is next Thursday, and it'll be 10 years. And sorry, I'm having a moment. I told her, I said, I think I held on to all the bad parts because I was angry that she was gone. And I couldn't deal with it. I felt gypped. I mean, I know there are people in this world that don't have that much time that I had with my mom, but I felt we were in such a good place, and there were so many things I wanted her to be here for. And I think I kind of put my life on hold by accident because of that. You know, like, well, if she's not here, what's the point? But it's like, I still have family and friends. I still have a dad. You know, my dad's not getting any younger. And, you know, I'll be honest with you guys. I think part of the reason I'm just kind of squirreling all over this is, I think I'm having some epiphanies while I talk to you guys. It's very possible that the reason I haven't been able to achieve this balance yet is because now that I'm done being angry, I'm grieving what will never be. There are probably going to be a lot of cool moments left in my life, and I'm only going to have one parent for all of them. Well, maybe not all of them, but the majority of them, at least in the next 20 years, you know. I don't know. My dad's always like, I don't want to live to be that old. I don't want to, you know, but blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm all sorry you can't die before me. But it's like, I've done this once. I'm not doing it again. You're going to have to live to be like 130, okay? So, and then he looks at me like, you're insane. That is not happening. But, I know it's hard sometimes too when you're an only child. You know, you either get super attached to your parents or you run away from them. And I got super attached. And I think that's why I was so angry. And I think that's why all of the bitter things that had happened between my mom and I really kind of sat at the forefront. I mean, there were some things that were legitimate, and some things where her influence really kind of halted my healing experience. But those are things I needed to figure out and go through. But I noticed after that one therapy session, my memories of my mom changed. I stopped focusing on the negative stuff. You know, even though it did exist, I didn't exaggerate any of it. It happened. But I started focusing on the fun stuff. You know, the last ride my mom and I rode at Disneyland before she got super sick and then couldn't go anymore. Or a lot of times when we tell her a joke and you have to explain it to her because it's just way over her head. And she, you know, and sometimes the funny thing is my mom could tell a dirty joke, but when you try to tell her one, she's kind of like, huh? I know, but you know, those are the things. And you can see the difference from the videos a year or so ago where I would be talking about things I went through with my mom, and I understand where she was coming from now. You know, I don't agree with some of the stuff, especially how she handled some of the things I will talk about next week, because next week I'm going to really kind of zero in on Suicide Prevention Month. But I see now the fear that she might have had. I see now the struggles she may have had, the things that she's tried to, you know, that she's had to go through, and then trying to manage something else. And then on top of that, having a kid who, you know, has a heart problem, and it's your only child. So, you know, I made deadline. I'm going to be honest with you. I made deadline. My dad said I'm not having any kids after I turned 28, and I was born the year he turned 28. He was 27 because I was born only a couple months after his birthday, but in the following year, of course. But yeah, so I'm an only child. But yeah, so thank you for listening, because I think I hit some of my epiphanies today, and that's going to happen with the Aloha Perspective. I mean, when I say it's a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything, I'm really not kidding. Because you can see how easily I swirl, but at the same time, I don't want to change any of that, because I want people to see that healing is not linear. Healing it's all over the place. It is in every direction. You know, you go to sleep and you wake up with crazy hair. That's healing. Your healing is going to go all over the place. But when you get there, it's going to be amazing. And like I said, there may be triggers, there may be moments where, you really have to fight for yourself. And there, I'm not going to say I'm never going to spiral again, but I'm hoping that now that I'm in a place that I'm at, I'll be able to catch it faster. And I'll be honest with you, I think because, well, not to be TMI, but when I PMS, I tend to get very hormonal, and my brain starts to react against me. Like the other day, I was telling sibling, it's like, I work so hard to do all this coloring with my hair because I'm one of those, my family tends to premature gray, so I've been graying since I was like 18, but I finally decided to just let it grow out so I could have fun colors. But then all of a sudden I saw it in the sun, it's like, I don't like it. I almost cut my hair this weekend. It's like, yeah, I don't like it. But then I thought, no, stop. This is the hormones talking. And sometimes that can be a big difference for my mental health. And so it's something I have to do. I have to check in with myself. I set an alarm every day, even on the weekends. The weekends are a little bit later, to check in with myself mentally to see where I am at. And, I kind of bypass that alarm a lot. And by that, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, okay. But I really need to focus in on that. I really need to make that conscious effort to really ask myself, where am I at this morning? Where am I at this afternoon? And even my phone is set to a reminder, which I didn't even know. It just happened. And it's a reminder, check in with your journal. How are you feeling right now? And it may seem silly, but, depression is no joke. It is no joke. And I know people who I have told in the past, like, wait, what? You have, major depressive disorders? Like, yeah. They're all, but you don't seem depressed. No. Because I learned how to fake it till I make it really young. However, I also got into this point where it's like, I'm not gonna fake it till I make it anymore. So if I really want to go out and do something, I have to either decide just to go as I am, and just say, and if somebody says something, just say, yeah, I feel like I'm really kind of battling something mentally today, but I knew I needed to be out with people. Or you can just say, you know what, I'm sorry. Today is not a good day, and can we reschedule? And, if you can, try to reschedule before the day of. I mean, sometimes people are, planning on you being there, but as a person from a non-depressive standpoint, if you are aware of your friends or your family members' mental health, please try to be understanding, because it can be difficult. And there are people out there who can't admit that they have depression, won't admit it, or won't admit that they have the blues or anything, because it's still very stigmatized. And you don't want to push them out of their comfort zone, because you're just going to push them away. Or you're going to make them so mad that you're just going to be like, no. And then they're not going to hear you when you try to talk. So remember, you cannot fix other people, but you can help them, you can guide them, you can plant the seeds, and you can water them. But water them gently, okay? Because mental health is still so, again, like I said, so stigmatized that we need to figure out how to break that. We need to figure out how to end it so that everybody who needs help gets help. And it's like I said, I believe that there's different kinds of depression, I mean, obviously there's the mental health umbrella that I fall under, but I do believe that some people have situational depression or blues, and that's not a term that I know of. It may be, but I don't know, but it's what I call it. And it's what I call people who do not have depression, but they're going through something. They're going through something rough. Maybe they're grieving. Maybe they're hurting. Maybe they're lonely. Maybe they're just sad over something. They have a memory like, gosh, I wish I would have done that. And it makes them sad for a little while. To me, those are situational blues. And those are the kind of things that once you honor it and feel it and let it go, they're fine. We'll heal it and then let it go. And then they're back to being themselves. And then there's people like me who fall under the mental health umbrella. And I'll be honest with you, I know that what I have says major depressive disorder, but I feel lucky that I have that, because there's a lot of other things that people have that are so, just so complicated, so complicated. And I feel like if I'm fighting this hard, what is their journey like? And so with that thought, I started thinking, you know what? I was dealt something that I don't like, but I'm grateful that I can manage it most of the time on my own. I mean, my therapist left an open door for me. She said, hey, if you ever need to come back, I'm here. But she's all, I think you're doing great. And she lets me check in from time to time. She's all, email me when you feel like it. So I'm grateful for that. She may be sorry that she said that, but because let me put it this way. I like my therapist so much. I just want to be friends with her because she's so awesome. But I know if I become friends with her, I can't go back and see her. And so, you know, you gotta maintain that professionalism. But she was pretty awesome. So anyways, I'm rambling again, and I think I've made all my points. So I do have an affirmator card for today. Oh, look, it's the cute one. I can't change which way the river bends, so I might as well strap in and enjoy this strange little boat ride. Anyone bring a cooler? That's perfect for today. Go with the flow, just around the river bend, right? Go with the flow. And look how cute they are. They're just all happy, like, hey, let's go for a ride on a little leaf. And they, I still love it. They have their little drinks, just like Shelly Marie has her little drink, her pumpkin spice, homemade pumpkin spice coffee. So anyways, go out there, kick today's ass, honor your feelings. If they need to be healed, heal them, and then release them. All right, don't hang on to it any longer than you need to. If you need a little bit more time to heal them, take the time you need to heal them, but don't lose yourself in it, okay? Don't lose yourself in that. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Under Shelly Marie Lucas, and tomorrow is Aloha Oracle Friday. So if you're into the woo-woo and you like the oracles, then please join me. It's a safe space for everybody. I know there are some people who'd be like, ew. But if you've heard it and if you're curious, join me, because there's a reason. All right. I've always said, you know, I have a very vast spiritual table. God is one of those. He's at the head of my spiritual table. But I feel like a lot of times this is where he gives me the messages. You know, I love my angels, and you know, I always work with Archangel Gabriel during my oracle cards. And if you're not into, you know, any sort of, you know, like you know, the standard mainstream deities, come anyways, because they're oracle readings. And I do my little oracle thing at the front. You know, this may come up, but just insert your own thing, your higher power, the universe. So we get some good messages, and they can be pretty exciting, and it's always fun when I'm done at the end. So yeah, otherwise, if you're not into that, I will see you Monday again, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. One more time, all lives are public under Shelly Marie Lucas. You can also catch my videos on TikTok. If you don't see them on Facebook, you can catch I tweet them to Twitter. I know it's X, but I like Twitter. And I do upload them to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective. So if you follow me in any of those places, you will probably see them there. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you are living somewhere where it's hot like I am, hydrate, 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 and take care of yourselves. All right. Have a great day.